Hello everybody, welcome and thank you for tuning in. I am back with a mini bonus episode of the Binge on Self-Love podcast, aka Binge on Self-Love Bits. The new year has just started and I assume we're all full of hope that this year will be better than the last one. Not just in terms of the pandemic, of course, but also in terms of our personal lives, social lives, in terms of our health, relationship, career, and so on. And because of that, I think that it's kind of nice to remind ourselves every now and then to be kind to ourselves, to take it easy sometimes, to take the time and appreciate our bodies, our minds, ourselves for everything we get through. So today I am bringing you my 5 tips for a better year of 2022. So without further ado, let's get into it. My very first tip is to put your physical and mental health first. The older I get, and I'm soon turning 28, which is amazing, but at the same time quite scary. I still feel like I am that 18-year-old confused me most of the time. But anyway, that's not the point. The older I get, the more I realize how important our health actually is, both physical and mental health, and how much more appreciative we should be for each and every day our bodies and our minds get us through, and how much we take our health for granted sometimes. Some of you who've listened to this podcast before may know that I've been dealing with binge eating disorder for a couple of years, and I did put my body through hell and back because of it. And it's been only with the passage of time that I get to truly see and appreciate all that both my body and mind have handled. We live in times when we want more and more and more, and we want to get everything as fast as possible. And our bodies are there with us 24/7, all day long, taken for granted. So what I found really helpful when setting any kind of goals that are related to my physical or mental health is to make them exactly about that. Not about going to the gym to get the best ab definition, not recovering from binge eating disorder to lose weight, or not running 4 times a week just to lose weight. Make those goals more meaningful, and whatever you do, do it because you care about your health. The beauty aspect of our bodies, all of that will fade after some time, but your body, strong and tough, will stay with you for the rest of your life. After all, it's the only body we will ever have. My tip number 2 for better 2022 is that whatever you want to change in your life, now is the perfect opportunity to start. I've said it a million times in this podcast before, and I'll say it again. You don't have to wait until January 1st or until Monday or until next week or until whatever to start what you want to start. Whether that's starting your recovery, improving your relationship, treating yourself more kindly, starting a YouTube channel, or whatever it might be. We often wait for the perfect timing and perfect opportunity to start, but chances are that such moment will never come, and therefore we will never start. So it doesn't really matter if you're listening to this in January or in April, in the morning or in the afternoon. If you want to change something in your life, such as getting healthier, treating yourself better, start cycling, take on a new hobby or whatever, there's no better moment than now. This brings me to my next point number 3, which is you don't have to have it all figured out to change something, to start something, or on the other hand, to stop doing something, such as changing certain habits in your life. Just like waiting for the perfect moment, I think having everything perfectly planned is just another way how to postpone things for some time in the future. We can never plan everything in our life because even if we tried, we will never know what's going to happen. There are too many ifs in life that we will never know unless we go on that path of changing something in our lives. I actually dedicated an entire episode to why I think it's better to start somewhere and somehow than wait to figure everything out and plan everything perfectly before taking on something. I will link it in the show notes, so if you would like to learn more about it, make sure to check it out. My tip number 4 is that smallest changes usually become the most significant ones over time. I'm not really sure why I'm constantly talking about change in this episode. Maybe because I personally want to change a lot of things, not just in 2022, but in my life overall. But anyway, I think that when we want to change something in our lives, we often believe that we have to do this massive change and massive gestures to actually make a difference. Like, for example, we feel like we have to completely redo our appearance in order to feel accepted and more beautiful, or that we need to move across the globe to whole another country just to find happiness, or that we need to leave everything behind to become someone else. But I honestly started to think that it's actually the smallest changes that we do in our lives and in our behavior and in the way we perceive certain things and even how we react to things happening around us and to us that make the true difference. I think so because the smallest changes that we do are usually the ones we repeat the most often, such as going for a short walk every day, or taking the time to journal every day, or visiting our loved ones more often. All these things seem quite insignificant from the day-to-day basis, but in the long run, it's what makes the true difference. Whereas when we decide to make those massive gestures, I think they can leave us quite disappointed because nothing really changes that quickly. And over some time, we get used to new things and new environment, so nothing really feels different anymore. When we move across the globe because we're not happy with ourselves and we think we will find happiness somewhere else, I think that we will eventually end up feeling the same because we are the same. It's just the place that's different. And unless we do the inner work, nothing will really change. Also, I think that doing these small changes and taking these tiny little steps feel much less overwhelming, and therefore we are already setting ourselves up for a higher chance of succeeding. The last point number 5 that I want to mention is super cliche, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Appreciate the people in your life that you love and that love you. You may think that they know how much you love them, but I feel like it's always a good idea to remind people that are around you how much you love them and how much you appreciate them and what they truly mean to you. I feel like we very often take people around us for granted, and it's only when we are not around them that much or we are not around them anymore that we realize how much they actually mean to us. So take any opportunity you have this year to remind someone you love how much you truly appreciate them being in your life. Whether that's a partner, a family member, a friend, it doesn't matter, just tell them. To sum up this episode, there are 5 key points how to improve your life in 2022 that I would like to highlight. Number 1, put your physical and mental health first. Number 2, whatever you want to change in your life, now is the perfect opportunity to start. Number 3, keep in mind that you don't have to have it all figured out to start. Just starting somewhere and somehow with what you have right now is usually more than enough. Number 4, smallest changes usually become the most significant ones over time. And number 5, appreciate the people that you love and that love you. So that's all I have for you today. If you liked and enjoyed this mini episode, make sure to subscribe to the Binge on Self-Love podcast so you don't miss any of the future episodes. And also, if you're listening on Spotify, you can now vote in the poll under this episode's show notes whether you like this mini episode or not, and let me know whether or not I should keep them coming. Have a great rest of the week and talk to you soon. Bye.
And nothing's working, but there's something inside of you that says, I just have to follow that, because you don't know who